Cara, Pluff. Tell us when you're ready.
Go ahead, shoot. How do I follow that? Because I can't grow a mustache, and I'm definitely not shaving my hair.
Are you ready? Is this going?
So for every single second page delay, you will see a 7% conversion loss. And that may not seem like much, but let's say that your business actually produces $50,000 a day in sales. That's $1.25 million you lose in 1 year because of a 1 second page delay. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Cara Pluff, and these slides were going a lot faster when I prepared this. So some fun facts about me. I'm with Applied Innovations, and we do cloud hosting. So today I'm going to talk about surviving online in terms of hosting. I do triathlons. I am a huge Bills fan, which is probably not something I should admit. So the three major steps in terms of surviving online are to first prepare, second protect, and then of course adapt. So those are some things actually that I also learned in terms of doing triathlons. Preparation is very, very key. And Benjamin Franklin, one of my favorites, says, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I also probably should have prepared a little bit more today. So with the triathlons, I do a lot in terms of planning, and I have all sorts of fun gadgets, and that's the one area where I guess I get a bit geeky. But this is actually my training plan for this week, as a matter of fact. But thanks to DNN After Dark, I did not make my bike ride this morning. The point here is that you really want to make sure you have a proper plan. So you want to know your requirements for your site. Now, those are basic things like what operating system you need to be on, how much CPU power you need, what kind of memory power you need, how much storage is required, and so on. Also, your traffic statistics are very helpful. Now you want to test, and you want to test a ton. You can hire Rob's grandmother. She'd be happy to come by and do some user acceptance testing. But you also want to do things like load testing. Break your site. Get there and push tons of traffic. Next is to really protect yourself. So we see all these news articles about hackers and places going down because Anonymous is angry or upset. So you want to make sure you're very well protected, and that comes in a few ways. First is, of course, security. So you want to focus on what type of security you have for your hosted environment or with your host or even internally with things like intrusion prevention systems, firewalls, VPN, antivirus, and so on. As you see up there, web application firewalls could have saved 71% of security issues. Now, backups. It's shocking to me how much of an afterthought backups seem to be. And of course, they become very important once you lose your data, but as you see there, 60% of companies will shut down in 6 months from backups. Now they are going a lot faster. So you want to take advantage of automatic recovery, and what this slide basically is showing is on cloud infrastructures, if there's a hardware failure, your site can actually, your cloud server can automatically migrate. Now this is live migration, which is really cool because we can make all sorts of changes to the hardware behind your cloud solution, and you would never even know it's happening because your site can live migrate from one hardware piece to another. Another major important thing in protecting yourself is to be redundant. So you want to make sure that you have, you avoid single points of failure. So you want to make sure you have redundant everything you can, and it's ideal to also be geographically redundant. And then we get to adapt, which is kind of my favorite, because this is what allows you to control your costs, ensure that your site's up and available at all times, and maximize your performance. So adapting is a big thing within triathlons because as much as you plan and prepare and you say, I'm going to do this swim really fast, and then I'm going to go on the bike, and I'm going to be an hour and 10 minutes on the bike, it always changes. There's differences in wind. There's people kicking and pushing and hitting you in the swim. So you just have to adapt. You have to make changes and say, I'm going to do this faster or not. The nice thing about the cloud is that you can scale your resources, and especially with Windows 2012 and Hyper-V now, you can really scale a ton. So you can see there up to 64 virtual CPUs. Previously, it was only 4, so there's a huge difference in terms of scalability. But not only scaling your resources, you want to be able to scale your platform. So I don't know if any of you went and saw Jess's presentation, but he did talk a lot about scaling out your number of cloud servers and being on load-balanced environments where you really have the opportunity to adapt. And this is kind of an example of that. It's a scaled-down small example, but this will show you multiple load balancers with multiple web front ends and some redundant SQL servers. So you want to make sure that your whole solution falls within these three things. The fact that you prepared, you protected yourself, and you allowed yourself to be adaptable to changing business needs.